Everybody, welcome. It is July 3rd, 2024. This is just a general Zoom for all Income Navigator members. Just really wanted to jump on. I think I've answered over 30 questions today in the service, maybe 50. I don't even know. I lost track after 3 or 4 hours. So I thought it would be good just to jump on video, cover some things with everybody. I know we got a number of new members that have joined up. So welcome to those folks that are joining us for the first time here. We try to meet a couple times a week on Zoom. We don't have a daily Zoom trading room like other places do. We will focus a lot in the different services and channels within the member Discord that we have. So welcome everybody. If you're a member and been here for some time, fantastic. Welcome back. And if you're a brand new member, or if you're watching this and you're considering becoming a member, great deal that we've got going on right now. 40% off the first month. You can do that. Check the details down in the description of the video and come and join and see what it's all about. Now, what I wanted to jump into today, and Igor is here as well. So we'll try to take some questions on from you. So if you have some questions, do it. We're having a great day in the service as well again today. Everything is up nicely. Accounts are up, new all-time highs again. At least most of you should be at new all-time highs. And lots of stuff happening in the market. So let's just jump into that real quick. I'm not going to go through the XL112 trade. There's enough of that in the Discord, and you can get a sense of that. I just wanted to touch base briefly on it. I have added it to the trade plan. There is a channel in the Discord designated to that. So let's see if we can share that as well. So let me see if I can pull up, and we'll just take a quick look at Discord here as we run through. You guys don't need to see any of me, but down here in the 11X type trades, there's a whole channel devoted to the long-term 112 trade here. You can go through, you can see how I'm putting it on, what I'm doing with it. But one of the things that I wanted to focus on here, so all the different channels you can get into. I just want to reiterate that if you are a new member here, okay, head to getting started and start here first. Okay, this is like the most important piece for you. So please make sure before you make a trade, before you ask a question, before you do anything, run through the whole getting started, go through the strategy guides that we have, watch the videos in the vault that we have. Start to monitor chat, be active in the chat. Lots of good stuff here. There's a good overview of our Discord video in here, a few other nuggets of info, a little bit of an orientation and onboarding video. Watch that. Candy put together a nice new member orientation, which we will do another one on Monday for this as well. So for all of you that are new on Monday, but start here in getting started. And you can hop into strategy guides and you can start plowing through all of the strategy guides. There's plenty of them here. Lots of live trading, how to trade certain trades, how we put them on, take them off, what we do with those, a little bit on hedging, a little bit on rolling the 112 trade, a bunch of stuff in here that you can get involved in. So my suggestion is, again, as a new member, just start in getting started and don't just dive right into placing a trade today. Yes, I've placed a trade today. In fact, I've already placed several trades today if you are looking at the alerts. And again, just follow along with those. I know maybe I'm redundant here for those of you that have been members and so forth, but if you're looking up in the mod trade alerts up here, there's plenty of stuff to take in. All of Igor's trades are in here. Okay, Igor's got his own resources here on how he trades various things, his different campaigns. Here, all of my trades for the main trading account are booked in here. Okay, and there's plenty of new trades. There's long-term 112 from today. There's XL 112, standard 112s, strangles. All the trades are in here, open and or closing. You'll all see that they are tagged as well. So you can see this is a long-term trade that's open currently, but there are some trades that we've closed. So you can view every trade we've done. I also trade a small account, which started at 10 grand. So here's the trade in that small account. I'm actually going to update some of these live here just so you get a sense of what we're doing in the small account. But we did just a couple days ago added a new trade. We're going to add another one. And then the IRA account that I trade is in here. More resources of mine here. You can view my trade plans. Both the small account and the main trading plan are in here. If you're interested in coaching or mentoring, you can certainly take a look at that. How I trade coverage strangles for income, different charts and market profiles that I go through, any of my trade ideas. I haven't really updated this quite as much recently. An FAQ page, again, new members and even current members, please check the FAQs and please check stuff that's already posted. I know it's easy for you to just ask a question and hope somebody's going to answer, but do your own work first. You are responsible for the results that you get and for taking most of this on. We're going to give you a ton, okay, but I need you to do a little bit of work and a little bit of research, and you should want to. Trade tracking spreadsheets in here for all the different accounts. You can track those. A little information on training mindset, a little ebook too that I put together. All of that's in here for you. So take a look at that stuff. Just make sure that you don't go hog wild on day one. Don't ask 50 questions. Don't start asking till you've been here about a week and you've chunked through most of this data and you're watching what's going on. Then you should start to be able to ask some questions. We do also have a channel in the Discord for trade plans. Go ahead and post your trade plans there. You'll get feedback from myself and others in there. So if you want us to take a look at those, post them in there. But in order for me to really see what you're doing or reply to it, you gotta tag me in there. You can't just type in Tom King. You've got to do the at Tom, K. So you got to do the right designation. Otherwise, I don't really get alerted. If you're just typing my name out, you've got to actually tag me in something for me to see it. I do get a lot of questions. I do get tagged in a lot of places. I try to keep up the best I can. If I miss something of yours, just give me a gentle reminder, and you can do that. And then the last thing here too is be safe. Okay? Don't DM anybody and don't accept DMs from anybody. Make your life easy. Okay? If you think you've been having a great conversation with Igor for the last 3 weeks, I guarantee you have not. Okay, so you're not having a conversation with him. You're having a conversation with somebody else posing as him. Always make sure if somebody is trying to DM you that A, you knew it ahead of time, most likely. B, check to make sure that they're on this server. Okay, so make sure they're also part of Income Navigator. And again, just the easiest way to do it is don't try to DM people. And I'm going to ask you guys to all to just make sure don't DM me a ton of questions. Just ask in the main chat. If I'm not on or if I'm somewhere else, okay, and I can't get to questions quickly, I guarantee there'll be 9 members answering your question here. So we've got really good members that know their stuff and they can answer most questions as well and sometimes better than myself. So, but ask questions in chat. The only time you should really DM me would be if you're signing up for coaching and mentoring, then DM me to make sure that I know who you are and we'll set up that time. All right, so that being said, let's jump into it. I know you guys want to jump into a handful of things here. And if you have some questions, you can pop them in the chat. Igor, has a question for you. If you want to just jump in real quick on at one point during your SPX butterflies, do you add and adjust? So we're on I assume this is the rut scaling oh, this is an SPX. So I'm sorry, not the scaling butterfly. I take that back, just an SPX butterfly.
Yeah, these butterflies are very similar to what we would normally trade with Russell. So, I mean, you can apply this to, I guess, any other underlying that would fit the criteria. But I'm going to try to share my screen for just a couple of minutes just to show you what I think about these butterflies. And I don't, I don't think there is a one exact point in the trade where you have to make an adjustment. Otherwise, you will have missed it or missed the opportunity. I'm going to share my screen. Right. So this is This is the latest butterfly that we put on 8 days ago. And as you can see, in the last 8 days, we have the underlying, which is SPX, moved about 0.8 standard deviation. So we're not really moving too much, so to speak. But again, we're just melting and grinding higher. And the price is now outside of this profit tent, right? So at this point, with 79 days to go, there's still a lot of time to do all sorts of different adjustments. But once the price gets out of the profit tent, right, one of two things need to happen. Either the price needs to get back into the tent, or the tent has to go somewhere above the price. Since we cannot move the price, we could only move the tent. We can either move the whole thing over and put the tent once again over the price, or we can add another butterfly, just as an example. The price right now, we're at, so maybe we'll look at 55.50. And again, I'm going to use all puts. So 55.50. And this is a 5 lot. So I would buy a wing 100 points lower, and then I would, model something like 56.40 maybe, just to see what that looks like. And right, so if I was to add another butterfly, yes, it will add more risk on the upside and on the downside, and that is planned for. But now you can see that, my potential profit area is now much wider, right? Having two butterflies is better than having one. That's the good part. The bad part is now we have more risk both on the upside and on the downside. So to answer your question is, there's no small window during which you need to make an adjustment. 79 days until expiration is a lot of time to make all sorts of adjustments. One thing we don't want to do is not do anything, because if the price continues to run higher and we do nothing, eventually we are going to be potentially taking a loss on the upside. So once the price starts to move the profit tent, I'm going to look to either one, move the whole thing over, or B, what I plan on doing is adding another round of butterflies, and it all has to stay within my planned capital. And if you want to just get a little bit more idea about the planned capital and the sizing of this trade, we just did a video, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and you can find a link to that video in the resources on Discord.
Okay, good stuff. And so this is similar to, there was a question in the main chat today on the rut scaling butterfly. So it's pretty much the same type of a setup that you're looking at. However, we start these typically, and again, I don't want to speak for Igor, but in the past, and I've done plenty of the rut scaling butterflies. I know Gabe, that was his thing. Igor really started that many years ago here. But we typically will put those on a little bit below the current price. So they start a little bit below the current price, but we'll scale them up as we go. With the rut scaling butterfly, probably similar to this if you're following that. You're adding tranches on as it moves higher. You typically get positive drift. We're not putting it on because we think the market's going to go down. Okay? We're putting them on a little bit below the current price. And as the market starts to drift up, we're able to, as Igor just showed you, add an additional fly tranche to it, which expands the tent. And if it continues to move up, we can put on a third tranche potentially. If it continues to move up, we might close out the first original trade and put on a fourth tranche, which would still keep us at 3. I do a little differently too on mine that I don't know that many others do, but if we go down, I will do the same thing. So if we're drifting up, I'll put another tranche on higher to expand the tent. But if we also start to drop, I'll also put a trade on below. Either way, I'm okay. I'll go any direction and add that second and or third tranche on. And the goal there is to, again, keep it within your risk tolerance, but you're expanding the tent and you're moving it slightly or expanding that tent as the underlying moves. And then hopefully you get a little bit of a regression back to the mean on it, or we get some more time decay. So Igor, I don't know if you want any additional comments on that one.
No, I think you summarized it pretty well. We do spend a lot of time, talking about planning trades, and when it comes to, this is a fairly advanced trade, right? You have multiple adjustments, so to speak, or different layers that you're going to be adding as the trade evolves. So definitely having a plan beforehand is key, and then once you're in the trade, all you have to do is just follow the plan. When I post these trades in the alert section, anytime I make any adjustment or anything I do to the trade, I will leave comments. So it would definitely help for everyone to go through those comments, read, and try to understand, my thought process as I navigate this trade from entry to exit.
Perfect. So one of the questions here was, what are important technical indicators on my charts for discretionary trades? So what I want to do before I jump into that is I just want to give you a sense of how, some newer members and existing members. I'm going to share my my trade tracker here, and then we're going to go through how I figure out what trades I want to put on each day. So there's a process that we go through every single day. And if you look at the trade plan, it's actually in there. So making sure that you're using the trade plan appropriately and understanding what you need to do. But I do have a daily portfolio management routine that I'll go through. So let's jump in really quickly and let's take a look at that. So up here is the trade plan for the main account. And what I do is at nightly, I will plan for tomorrow today. So it's a phrase that I've used in real life, because I don't consider this trading as much real life, even though it's very real for many of you. And my day job, let's put it that way. Previously, I do a lot of planning and organizing for people as an operations consultant, sales consultant. So the goal is to plan tomorrow today. And I'm looking at, and you see me do it every single night because I post nearly every single night. I'm going to give you, the updated delta. In fact, right now my delta is minus 36. Okay, my current theta is 1587. My current net lick is 521715. So I'll just add them in here. Okay, and my buying power is 337165. So that's all good. I'm up 150 bucks on the day and realized, okay, so I'm doing this for a reason. Number one, is my delta in line 100%. I love the fact that my delta is actually negative with the market getting overbought here. So we're overbought weekly, we're overbought daily, and I have negative delta. I love it. Okay, so, and it's pretty delta neutral, but it's slightly negative. I think that's a perfect setup. My theta is good. Can it be better? Yeah, it can be, but not in this low volatility environment. I think that's fine. Net lick is fine. But the real key, the most important measurement of all is what's your buying power. And right now it's at 55 because I added a trade today. I was sitting at 50, 51 yesterday. So when I'm looking through this, number one, I'm looking at those things, but is anything out of line? Well, no, nothing was out of line. So the goal would be using some technical analysis, what are some ideas for tomorrow? Okay, so that's my nightly routine. But in the day, I'm going to review each trade. Do I have any naked puts that have to come off? Well, I did that yesterday for the most part. Are there any put debit spread that are at 25% profit or more that might need to be adjusted or closed? Maybe. So that's a maybe here, and maybe we'll jump into that with you guys as well, so you can see what that looks like here as well. So, and then is there anything in trouble that might be getting close to a 200% loss? Okay, maybe I'll put the 150 to 200% loss. Anything getting close? Okay, it's a quick review. And then is BP okay to add trades? If it's not, then there's no need, okay, to do anything. Okay, but the night before, I've already got ideas. I've already got 12 trade ideas ready to go, depending on what I need. And then I add trades based on my strategy allocation, filling the core trades first. So there's some questions in Discord. I can't answer everything here today, but I want to give you a sense of, when you look at my strategy builder, number one, it's pretty much in order of how I want to make sure my trades are on. So number one, if I had BP, which I had a little bit this morning, okay, I had BP this morning. The first thing I would do is, and I'm looking at my campaign trades here, which is the C, are my long-term 112 trades full? Is my ladder full? I'm budgeting 50% of my account, of my available buying power, I should say, not of my account, but 50% of my buying power goes towards that strategy up to 150K. I should be putting on about 7 or 8 contracts. So units are contracts a month here, or tranches of trades, whichever. 112 is 1 unit. Okay, so I need to be putting on essentially a 7-7-14 in a month's time, or maybe an 8-8-16, something along those lines. Okay, which would be 2 4-4-8s or something. All right, and then this figures out what my max monthly P&Ls are, and I factor in my win rates. So you can see what the win rates are. Okay, you can see what the return on month is typically if you use your stop losses that we have set. So you can figure out what are the high performing trades. But number one, I want to make sure my long-term 112s are filled. So what did I do today? Well, I just placed a trade. Let me see if I can clean up the screen a tad. Okay, so I did place a trade this morning. Okay, here. Okay, so there is a long-term 112 trade that I just put on this morning. Boom, filled that. So I'm good. I no longer have any buying power because I'm at 54% or something. So nothing to do. If my buying power was still at 49, 50, 47, 40, whatever it might be, and I was able to put on a trade, I would first look to see, do I have long-term 112s on to fill my strategy? This is the core, man. This is what drives my account. Okay, I want to keep the engine here, the long-term 112s. I got to keep that firing because that's just going to generate monthly income. And if you look at the monthly income, we've generated 41 grand here, and we're pretty consistent around that 4 or 5 grand, sometimes a little bit more. 10 grand this month because the sizing's up a tad, and we had 2 come off yesterday already. So July is already cranking. We've already booked 10 grand. Now, the reason it's also at 10 grand is I have not had any put debit spreads expire. They're going to expire, which means on each put debit spread that I have, I'm going to lose, $1,300, $1,200, $1,300. So that'll be subtracting from this. So normally I'm going to book 10 grand in income, and then I'm going to subtract about 2,600 to $3,000 or so because of put debit spreads. Some months, like January, the put debit spread, from a previous month might just expire, and I didn't have the income come in because nothing hit 95%. Okay, doesn't mean I had any, there are still no losses. It's just a matter of when does the put debit spread come in, so that reduces the realized gain. So I hope that makes sense to you. Why they're not all 10 grand. Well, this 10 grand is going to get whittled down to about 7 grand this month. Okay, once the put debit spreads come off for both the July 19th and the July 31st trades. Okay, so those will come off. We'll realize losses of about 2,500, but that's all good. Okay, so we anticipate that because it's built into our strategy builder how much we're expecting to make. I expect to make 7,300 a month. So I'm pretty doggone accurate with what I'm doing, right? Number one. So that's number one. As I look through here, I want that core engine just generating cash for me. If I can't do any other trades because I'm in a small account or an IRA or something, it's going to be the core. It's what I'm going to rely on the most. Okay. After that, I'm going to start to look at 112s on futures or potentially strangles. Which one of these, and here's my buying power allocation. If I'm short, which means I have not allocated as much buying power as I've planned for here, that's where I will put the next trade, as long as I find a trade that fits it. How do I know what trade fits it? Well, I already did the research the night before, and I put together that list of all of the trades that might make sense all over the place, because I don't know what I'm going to do the next day. I just want to identify 10 potential trades for tomorrow, and then I'll see what fits the plan. Okay, I'm not going to go look for just strangles at night because maybe I can't put any more strangles on. But what if 2 strangles close today and now I'm short on buying power on strangles? Well, that's where I'm going to allocate money. pretty much evenly looking at 112s on any futures or strangles on futures, as long as I've got the buying power used, and I do, and I look at my open trades and I can quickly figure out, okay, my buying power is more than enough, okay, on those, and my 112 buying power, okay, is more than enough here. So I've got those both filled, which means I could put either one on if I have buying power because I'm already maxed out. And then do I have any 120-day naked puts on ES? If I do, great. Okay. If one comes off, it's already going to get one put back on. So I really don't have to worry about this one. It's a reoccurring trade. It is a campaign style trade. And then you've got the bill ETF as well. So that's one of the things you want to take a look at as well is my bill keeping up with my account size? So I wanted to take a look at that today, and we'll give you a sense that I think I need to add some more bill because my account has moved up about 20 grand in the last week or so. So I think it's time to add more bill to my account. So I want to add the bill ETF. Now, this is a Reg T account. This is just a trading account that I started here with like 30K. So I'm just using it to trade for members here. So I'm not employing any other unique bill strategies except what I would do in a standard Reg T account. This is not a PM account, right? So that hopefully gives you a sense of what can you put on. I've got every trade on right now is booked. I've filled on all of these things. Do I have 13 grand worth of spec trades on as well? Okay. I can look up here, take a look at my spec trades. Yeah, I've got $21,000 in spec trades on. I'm fine. Okay. So I hope this makes sense, but this is how you just manage your account daily. If you're just starting here, the strategy builder piece is the most important tool that you're going to use. Okay, watch on how to create your trade plan. And we do run classes on this as well, but understand your objectives, your goals, your risk management and risk tolerance. Know what rules you want to abide by, understand how you're going to run your portfolio. I even put a little thing in here on how to manage for vacation. My allocations here based upon that strategy builder. And then I outline my strategies and how I'm going to trade each particular strategy. That's all in this particular trade plan, right? So all of this stuff just works together. But before you should place a trade, you got to have a plan. Before you are ready to go with your plan, make sure that it makes sense for you. Okay. What is your goal? If my goal is, 10% a month, okay, then I'm not going to hit it here. But if your goal is 3% a month, but your risk tolerance is low, then you can't put any, you can't put this plan out there and work it. Okay. Your risk tolerance and your goals have to align, and they also have to align with your particular trading methodology. All right, so I hope that makes sense to you, but I wanted to just spend a second on that make sure as you put a plan together that what is your goal? And your goal should be specific and measurable and have a by when date. I want to make X amount by X date. And then I can work backwards to figure out what monthly percent do I need to do to hit that. That gives me my goal. The next thing I'm going to look at, though, is my risk tolerance. What type of an account is this? How close to retirement am I? Is this money crucial to me existing in life? Or is this a play account and I'm going to try to double it and triple it every 2 years or something like that? Okay. So you got to figure out your risk tolerance. If your risk tolerance is, I can't lose this money and I only want to risk 2% of my, or 1% of my net lick on any one trade, and I want to preserve it, then you got to go back and look at your goals to see, okay, well, if you're trying to hit 3% a month, it doesn't jive with that risk tolerance that you have. You're going to have to jack that risk tolerance way down to 1.5% a month, 1% a month, something along those lines. My IRA is 1.5% a month. Okay, that's my goal. My trading account, 3% a month. The small account, 3% a month. The risk tolerance in the main trading account, I don't risk more than 2% on any one trade. Okay? And I only have so much of each strategy and only have so much of each underlying being used. So I'm diversified. In the small account, I will risk up to 5% of the account per trade. Okay. Why? Because it's a small account and I can replace it. Okay. For my kids, they have plenty of time to go. If their account gets wiped out tomorrow, probably not going to be happy, but they can rebuild that account pretty quickly. Okay. So understanding your risk and your goals, and then the last piece here is understand your lifestyle. Okay. Are you someone who wants to just look at this thing once or twice a day? Are you in retirement and you want to spend all day? Or are you in I want to trade as a living mode and I'm going to spend all day? I'm kind of in between those. I don't want to spend all day. I spend most of my day here in Discord. I do not spend most of my day looking at my account. Okay. I'm just answering questions and helping you guys all in Discord. So I hope this makes sense to you. Put that plan together and then figure out what strategies mesh up with all of those things. And for me, it's add a little percent here, subtract a little percent here. Maybe 50% is too much to do one strategy. Maybe you need to go 70 or 80% on any one strategy. If I look at my small account here and I look at the trade plan. Okay, this is a much simpler trade plan down here, but long-term 112s are 70%, some future strangles are 20%, and then I'll do some 120-day naked puts in here for a small amount, right? But I will risk more here, so I'll be a little bit more risky on size, but this is my allocation in this particular account. Okay, if I would look at my IRA account, you're going to see the IRA only has really two strategies in it, and that's a long-term 111 and some futures strangles. And the future strangles are pretty low. It's mostly all long-term 111 trades. That's how that particular trade account is set up. Right? So make sure that you got a plan, and we can take a look at that with you, and we can walk through it. And then we do run a course here on how to build your trade plan, where we're going to go really in depth on your why, strategies, hedging, risk tolerance, and your risk areas, how to set up trades, how to manage your account. We'll go a lot more in depth on it there, so you can jump into that as a small group trading session. But there's enough stuff for you to get started in here. So I hope this makes sense for you, but I wanted to review that. That's how I look daily. So going back to the question that was in chat here, what are the indicators on my chart? I'm going to run through it quickly. Okay. I've done so many videos that you guys probably have most of this stuff down pat anyway. So if I'm looking at, any chart that I have a weekly and a daily chart. I'm only looking at a couple indicators. Mainly, I'm looking at MACD and RSI. Those are my main two indicators. The squeeze pros down here. It just gives me a little extra info, but it's not a main driver. And then up here, I'm just looking at a 21, a 50, and a 200-day moving average. The 21 and the 50 are exponential. I'm looking at any trend lines, and then I have this 3 ATR band here. If anything gets to that band, it's typically going to be overbought and may start to move down unless that band is moving up at a 45-degree angle like this was, and you're just riding it up. Then I don't consider it overbought at that stage, because we're still rising, as you can see here on the RSI. So I'm pretty simple when it comes to indicators. There's also a PSAR, the dots here. That just gives me a sense of, is something getting ready to reverse? And I trade two ways. I am, number one, I'm a trend trader. So I'm looking to keep the trend in mind. Are we uptrending, downtrending, or are we neutral? Number one. But two, I really love reversal trading. So I am really much more of a reversal trader. I will say, this morning in the active trader service, when we were chatting about 0 DTE this morning, I did put a trade on this morning here. And why did I do that? Because if you look at the open here, which is the 15-minute on the right-hand side, you can see the 3 ATR band here. We jumped way above it, okay, and then started to run out of juice here, okay, and I put on a zero DTE trade here. And I put it on right here on this particular, as soon as the news came out on PMI and we ran up, we ran down, good indecision candle here. I actually took this advantage because we were right at the 3 ATR. We were overbought here and starting to tip, starting to, in my opinion, tip over a bit. You can see MACD was starting to run out of steam. Okay. Squeeze was getting long in the tooth. And so at 10 o'clock this morning, which is right here, okay, right on this release of the news, as soon as that candle came out and we jumped way up, and then we sold off, and then we rebounded back up. That's when I put on a call credit spread this morning for 0 DTE. Premium was not great, but I did put that trade on. And then we just kind of drifted sideways here for, I don't know, half an hour to an hour. And then boom, we sold off, and right around 11:40. So we sold off, came back up, but we really just never got back to the same level. And right around, 11 something in here is when I got out. Okay. We never really got above 55.25 here. So we stopped out, or no, we didn't stop out. We took a 50% winner on that. So I hope that makes sense. But that's how, again, I look at it, whatever time frame, doesn't really matter to me. So I hope this makes sense, helps you out a little bit. I just want to keep it simple. Maybe I have too many things on here. Who knows? Somebody just asked a question about the Aussie dollar. So we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks as we've been in this, channel right here, trading sideways. Okay, it looks like a barcode, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, but what happened today is we broke out of this channel. We broke this resistance to the upside. Okay, this was a ascending triangle, if you're looking at it. So you've got an ascending triangle going on here. All right, well, what are you expecting to happen in an ascending triangle? Well, if it breaks the top of the triangle, you could be off to the races a bit here. We could see something along this line, maybe back up to resistance up here. But if you're looking at the weekly chart, you're in a squeeze and starting to fire to the upside. RSI is moving higher. MACD is moving higher. Okay? You broke resistance. The same thing is happening on the daily. I'm a little nervous now on the Aussie dollar. I'm not going to add any strangles. Typically, I won't add strangles anyway because my criteria is almost being met that I would not trade. So it's technically inside my trading range on RSI. But we're starting to pull away from the 21 EMA, and that to me is a no-go. So I won't add a strangle on 6A in here. Now I do have a strangle working on 6A, which is fine. Down a little bit. Okay. No, I'm sorry, it's flat. It's exactly flat today. Same thing on the euro. Okay. Same type of thing is happening, starting to move to the upside. Okay, you're still right around the 21, so I think this thing still sets up really well. If I was entering, I would definitely pick the euro here over the Aussie dollar. Would be something to take a look at. RTY still sets up well for strangles. So I hope that makes sense and answers your question on it. All right, what other questions you got for Igor and I? And Igor, I don't know if you have, you still even open. You got a little bit of time left in the market today. So if you guys don't have a question, I'll jump in and put on a trade. But all right, let me see if I can find the correct account here for you. Bear with me.
I see the same question is coming up about naked puts in a gold GC. And this is not to say that it's a good idea or not a good idea, but you kind of want to know and understand the context of your portfolio right now, right? If you were to sell a naked put, what is that going to do to your net exposure in your portfolio? Do you want to add long delta to your portfolio? Do you have room for more long deltas? Do you want to be neutral? Do you need short deltas, right? So again, going back to Tom's strategy builder, that's going to dictate, right, what you need and when you need it. Why, gold? Is it because you're underweight in gold right now? Okay, so you need to allocate some capital to gold. Fine. What kind of trade do you need in gold? Why naked puts? Do you need long delta in gold? Right. But it all starts with the strategy builder. That tells you that you need to put some money out there. So now you know how much. And now with that information, knowing what you need to trade and how much you have to spend, you can go and try to find what is best for your portfolio. Right now, maybe Tom doesn't need naked puts in gold, but doesn't mean that it's not a good trade.
Mhm.
Vice versa. Maybe he thinks gold naked puts is a great idea for him because he needs more positive delta. Maybe you don't need. So you need to understand the concept. This is very personal and very individual as far as allocations go. But I always say there's no bad time for 1-1-2s for naked puts as long as this little piece of a puzzle fits into your bigger picture.
And that's why every night I spend time trying to figure out exactly what trades potentially are out there so that I don't have to worry each day about trying to figure out what I'm going to add. Okay? All I care about is coming up with a bunch of trade ideas each night, which takes me
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes, maybe. I pretty much do it live on YouTube. So I go through the chart, takes me 15 minutes, and all that does is tell me, hey, I got 10 trades in my pocket. Now, the next day, after the market's been open for a while, then I'll do my portfolio review. Like Igor said, what do I need? Do I need more positive delta? Do I need trades on gold? And if I do I need strangles or 1-1-2s to fill up my strategy builder? Okay, then I pull out the one I need. So can you do, are naked puts on gold a good idea? I think they're a good idea right now. I mean, gold's been kind of sideways, moving a bit, but it's still in a nice uptrend. It's still above its 21 EMA and well above the 50 EMA. So it looks pretty good on the weekly. On the daily chart, it's got a pretty good pop today, but it's above the 21 EMA, above the 50 EMA. MACD is rising, RSI is rising, squeeze momentum. It's in a squeeze and momentum's turned on gold. Why not? Looks like a good trade if you need it. I technically need a trade on gold right now. I would like to increase my gold exposure. However, I have no buying power to use because I'm at 54%. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day and not have to worry about trading. The only thing I'm doing is answering questions and posting closed trades in my accounts. And today is 120 DTE day. So today's the day to put on new 120 DTE long-term 1-1-2 trades if that is part of your strategy. Today's the day. I don't put them on every other week. I put them on when 120 days rolls around. Doesn't mean you can't put them on every other Monday there. And some people have been asking about, well, should I be putting them on weekly? Or what if this thing says I can put them on weekly? The problem for me when you put these trades on weekly is you're going to start overlapping strikes. It's going to be very hard to not overlap strikes when you're adding at least two of the exact same trade at the exact same expiration. You're going to run into overlapping, and then tracking that's going to make it much more difficult. And frankly, it's a 120-day trade. I don't know why I would want to put on 16 of these when 8 will do. Okay, it's not like you're going to get a big difference from week 1 to week 2. And if you do, then this is where you can go with a discretionary, just 1-1-2 trade and pop something on. If you put a 1-1-2 trade on yesterday and the market drops 150 points today, then maybe put on a standard 1-1-2 trade at 60 days. Okay. Figure out exactly what makes the most sense for you and your particular account. Is there a gold trade ready to come off? Is that a question or a statement? I don't know. Let's go back to the accounts for a minute. All right, so we're having a good day. We're up a little $2,200 in this particular account. So let's take a look at gold. So here's one thing that happened today. And this PDS has been in the money for days and days and days and days. However, this is already an adjusted PDS. I've already rolled it up once and booked some profit. Okay. Well, with today's big move in gold, we just left the money on this trade. I really don't want to lose it. Okay. So I think it's a good chance to get the heck out of this trade. So we're going to see if we can get out of this trade. And then, yeah, we've got a trade working here. You know what? This actually should have come off, and I didn't have a GTC order working on it. So my fault. Okay, we'll see if we can get out of this thing. Nah, who cares? All right, done. So we just made some money there. All right, so naked put did come off today. Okay, so that goes into our kitty for today. So you can see so far today, I did put that 0 DTE trade on earlier. I've already added a new 112, and then I took off this gold 120-day trade, but I think gold is still setting up nicely for naked puts. Question is, by taking that off, okay, did I free up enough buying power? Man, I'm at 51.6. It's pretty close. Okay. That's right. I had one job. I don't know how I usually always have my stuff working. But it's pretty close. I'm at 51% now in gold, so I could probably put another gold 120-day trade on in here. Size-wise, what did I do on that one? And you can size them however you want. You can do whatever the heck you want with the trade. Might be a good trade to stick on in here. Let's take a quick look. Okay, and bear with me for a second. I'll figure out my sizing or what I like to do on these. I know silence is not great for radio, but there's at least a visual here for you. So on these, I don't, around $2,000 is what I'll risk on this thing. So let's go up here, spend some cash. Hey, if I can get 470 credit, I'll take it. I don't know if I'll get it, but yeah, I'll take it. All right, there you go. Boom, got a new gold, naked put on here. Let's put the 50%. It's not a 50% target on this thing, but let's go back and try to fix this thing. I know I'm going quickly, and if you're new, it'll make sense when you read the trading plan on it. So here it is. We'll group it. This is a all right. So I just added another naked put trade on gold. All right, done. Well, now I'm back over on my buying power, so I'm done for now. We got a strangle. We got a bunch of strangles that are closed. We have a bunch of things that are happening in here. We got a strangle here that's getting closed. 112 is closed. So we're all good on that. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, watch your accounts, see what's going on, and decide if that makes sense for you to want to put that particular trade on. What I want to do is switch gears. Unless, Igor, if you got something else you want to jump in, if not, I'm going to.
I'm just going to add one more thing about, since we're talking about gold here, right? So a perfect example of how to use information that we put out there would be something along the lines of, just looking back on my positions, and I have a position in gold with 84 days. It is a strangle, which is not really, and the gold is really not moving a whole lot, but there is a pretty steep skew to the upside right now. So the short 2600 strike calls are taking a little bit of heat, and the naked puts at 2095 are not really giving up any of the premium. So my strangle right now is not terribly down, but it is down. But more importantly, I have a net negative delta in my gold positions. I only have one for right now. And I do have buying power that I need to allocate to gold. So I'm going to do something in gold. So now I know two things. I know that what I'm going to trade, which is gold, and I know how much I'm going to trade. Um, that's my buying power allocation. Tom just put out a trade, naked put. So I go and I look at my positions. Can I use a naked put right now? Yes. Why? Because if I sell a put naked, one, two, or however many, according to my account size, that's going to add positive delta. Can I take on positive delta here? Yes. Why? Because my short strangle with 84 days is now short delta. And if I add a naked short put to it, that's going to bring my net delta, right? Combined delta more so to um, neutral or so. So yes, I can follow along in that trade, right? If I already had a bunch of long delta and Tom put out a trade where he's selling a naked put, I have to go back and look at my positions and decide, do I need any more positive delta? If yes, do it. If no, don't do it. So that's just an example of how you should look at information we put out there. We put information out there not for you to, close your eyes and chase, but to use that information and kind of see if this is going to work for you or against you. And if it's working for you, you're more than welcome to tag along for the ride and follow along.
Yeah. And really, just look, if I put a strangle on, then I'm pretty neutral on the underlying, or it sets up good for a strangle. If I'm putting naked puts on or 112 on, I'm probably bullish on it. Doesn't mean you have to do the same trade. As Igor said, you can put on a put ratio spread, you can do naked puts, you can do anything you want that fits your plan. We're just giving you a bunch of different trade options and ideas between us and other members here of things you can do. Same thing in the active trader service. Just because if I put on a trade in, BABA today, well, I think BABA is bullish. Now, just because I might put on a credit spread doesn't mean you can't just buy calls. Okay? Whatever fits your trading style. Maybe Igor will put on a call butterfly. Maybe he'll do a call vertical. Okay. Maybe I'll do a put credit spread. There's 8 ways to play a bullish idea. Okay? But just make sure that it works for you. On that note, anything else? I think to cover them. So we've been on for a while here, shared a couple trades with you. So I took gold off. Okay. That would be something where if you're paying attention and you're doing your portfolio review daily, you would see, hey, I got to take this one off, or I get something getting close to a stop. Okay, do a review, figure out what you want to put on. Okay, and because I thought gold was bullish and I had a trade come off, I had the buying power, boom, put another one on, be ready to roll. Okay. All right, on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up, let you guys go for the session today. Big thing is, welcome new members, but B, take your time and digest. There is a overwhelming amount of info here. There's a lot of people chatting. Okay, I get it. There's a lot of info. Just take your time, absorb it, but just start with the getting started and the strategy guides. Start putting your plan together using the spreadsheet, which is also in the service. Go to Tom's resources. Everything is there. Okay, and start putting your stuff together. Give yourself a week while you're kind of just monitoring what's going on in chat and stuff. Then you can start to build, your plays from there. So take it easy. And then if you're a member here as well, okay, keep modifying your plan. Hey, great discussions today on the XL112. I really like Eddie's version of it. I think I'm going to chunk mine and go with his. If you missed that discussion yesterday, there's some good stuff in there about that. I like the XL112 because it gives me a lot, not only it's a delta neutral trade, it gives me a nice little hedge-ish thing. It's not a hedge, but it gives me a pretty big trap. If the market starts to move, it's going to help me quite a bit. And I have multiples of these on. Also, I have multiples of just leftover PDSs all over the place. So there's 4 of those laying around. There's 3 of these giant trap things. They've kind of replaced the BA 112 in my book. I think they're better than the BA, and they're a combination of the BA 112, the FB 112, and they make enough money to be its own standalone trade, even if you didn't adjust it there. So I think it's a fantastic trade, discretionary trade that I'll put on periodically. Right now, we've been pretty consistent for about 4 months on these. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you back in the Discord. And if we don't see you today, rest of today, enjoy a fantastic holiday tomorrow. Thanks to all of you that are veterans as well. Enjoy the 4th of July, folks. See ya.
Have a great day, everyone.